Good evening, one and all. Thank you for joining yet another webinar session with Sri Satya Sai Annapoorna Trust. It's an honor to once again connect back with all our Annapoorna staff members, Annapoorna volunteers, Annapoorna patrons, many of our CSR clients. Yet again, we are here with a new webinar series. Last 4 months, we have been covering the Annapoorna story. This time, we just wanted to ensure we introduce our new NGO partners who are making a difference to the work which they do, especially in the current pandemic time. Just to give you a brief about myself, my name is Anand, and I'll be the host for today's session. Some of you might be knowing that I'm the secretary of Sri Satya Sai Annapoorna Trust, which is heading the morning nutrition program for about close to 500,000 children in 17 states. Unfortunately, we could not start our operations this year because of the pandemic. However, the stats which are shown on this slide is the representation of our work till March 2020. Well, at the same time, we understand the pandemic has made the work to stop even in the schools. We have realized that it's very important for us to focus on education, the core, which is the important aspect of every child. And in this, what we did is we tried talking to many of the corporate clients to see how we can collaborate with them and make the learning much more easier and seamless for the student communities. Today, we have a set of good speakers with us who will be deliberating on the topic of education. But before that, as a matter of concern and also whatever responsibility we carry to our children who are right now kind of not being able to get the right food, we are trying to help their families providing dry ration items. Close to 50,000 families have been addressed providing this dry ration, and we continue doing this work to ensure that the child and the family also gets the right food at least during this pandemic times. Many children are also being complained to have malnutrition as a bigger rise in the current system. And we're trying to address it by providing SciSure, a protein health mix, which is an innovation from Sri Satya Sai Annapoorna Trust. And that is actually being shared or distributed to close to 1 lakh children in the hinterlands of Karnataka. While we do all these things, as I told you earlier, education as an aspect has become a key to address the need of many children who are right now not being able to get that aspect into the new normal, which is trying to learn from the internet, through the internet, and accept the current normal as the new change which we need to get adapted to. Thankfully, there are a large number of NGOs which they are doing work on this space, and we are very honored to have with us Pratham Foundation with us, and they have been doing this students studying very innovatively through storytelling. And today we have with us Purvi Shah. Miss Purvi Shah, she is the director, StoryWeaver at Pratham Books, and she is an industry stalwart with an MBA from Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies. StoryWeaver is a digital gateway to thousands of richly illustrated, open license children's stories in mother tongue languages. It is also a first of its kind platform that provides easy to use tools to create, adapt, and translate new stories for children. Till date, over 27,000 storybooks in 280 languages have been written, and it contains easy to use tools to read online and offline. And you can also download them and print them completely free of cost. I wish we definitely need such kind of wonderful tools available in a larger way to the many of the students who are right now not been able to get their face-to-face interaction with the teachers. I hand over to Purvi Shah to take over from here to explain the concept of StoryWeaver for the next 10 minutes. Thank you. Purvi, over to you.
Hi everyone.
everyone.
Can you just confirm that
Yes, Purvi, we can hear.
great. So good evening everyone. Thank you for joining in so late, and we are so excited to share our story with you today. So Lija and I are from Pratham Books. Pratham Books, as some of you may know, is a not-for-profit children's book publisher. We are a 16-year-old organization working in India, and our mission is to see a book in every child's hand. So we want children everywhere in every corner of India reading storybooks in their mother tongue languages. Till date, we've published about 5,000 books in 24 languages and distributed about 30 million books and story cards. But as you know, as vast as India is in terms of the number of children that we have, in terms of the languages that we have, one of the questions that we often asked ourselves is that how do we catalyze the creation of reading material for 240 million children of India, and how can we do this in a collaborative and cost efficient manner? So that's really when Pratham Books thought of moving from being a print publisher to a digital platform. And what we mean by that is that we started open licensing our content. So Pratham Books has so many beautiful children's stories in so many languages. And the idea was to use an open license and release them under what is called a Creative Commons license that allows people to take the content, adapt it, version it, etc. But all of this, as you can imagine, can only be done via a digital platform. So that's really how we moved from being a print publisher to a digital platform as well. So the various things that one can do on StoryWeaver is one, of course, read. So as a publisher, we have, as I mentioned, we had so many rich storybooks. We actually made all of them digitally compliant and made them available free on StoryWeaver for anybody to read, whether you are accessing it on your desktop, laptop, or even mobile. So you don't need an app, but you can just type in www.storyweaver.org.in and read thousands of stories for free. We also realized that a lot of educators may be looking for stories or unique content that they may not have easy access to. So we've uploaded about over upwards of 25,000 high quality images that allow educators to create their own stories, own flashcards we've seen educators create using our rich image library. And we also built in a really nice translation tool system that allowed educators, community organizations to translate books. If they loved a book but they didn't find it in a language that they were working in, they can come on the platform and translate as well. Relevel, you can download and print. So if you don't have internet connectivity, no issues, we allow downloading from StoryWeaver. You can download it, you can use it while you're offline, or even if you need to print, we have an organization in Tamil Nadu that actually downloads PDFs, prints them, and laminates them because it's used in library environments. So all sorts of use cases are possible via the digital platform, and as I mentioned, all the stories are available under the CC BY 4.0 Creative Commons license. So we launched StoryWeaver 5 years back with about 800 books in 24 languages, and we've been able to scale to close to 28,000 books in 280 languages. These are Indian and global languages. And on and off the platform, we have a readership of about 50 million and about 4 million users in the last 4 years that have accessed the platform. So like I mentioned, one of the most important things and the core of the platform is storybooks. As you can see, we don't just have books from Pratham Books, but we also have books from other publishers. And that really has been a great success story for us because we've been able to convince wonderful publishers like Room to Read, some African publishers, other publishers in India to open license their content on StoryWeaver. And our books span several different genres. So as you can see on the top left and bottom right, you have books on STEM. We have close to 1,500 books on STEM on the platform. This is really becoming an emerging need with educators, where they're looking to decode scientific concepts in a far more engaging manner with the children that they work with. We also have books on social emotional intelligence, delicate issues like the one on the top right that you see is on domestic violence. So several different issues and several different themes and categories that you can find the books on. A simple translation tool is available. So on the left side, you can see the English story, and on the right side, you can start typing your story in any of the Indian languages as well. We have some input tools that make it easier. We also realize that a lot of our users may not have access or ready access to desktops and laptops. So we also introduce a mobile translate version just very recently, and post COVID, we are seeing a large uptake around that as well, where teachers and educators are translating books on mobile too. Uh, so yeah, about 280 languages. Interestingly, 57% of these are indigenous or minority or tribal languages, which has been a great success story for us. We've had in Maharashtra, we've had Korku and Pavri languages. So educators coming in who work with tribal schools to come in and translate. In West Bengal, we have Santhali and Kora language books available as well. So many of the tribal languages are actually covered on StoryWeaver. um, we've seen users, like I said, download and use it offline. We've seen the Punjab government, along with Pratham, has downloaded Punjabi books and actually made it part of the early childhood education. Apps have started taking our content and integrated it. We have WNS, which is also a great partner. They're going to talk right after me, and they use it, use content from StoryWeaver as well. Annapurna Trust is also going to start using content from the platform. I won't take much time. I'll quickly just jump into what our COVID response has been, because everybody, had to. I mean, we all work in this space, and then we were uprooted from the library and school environments that one was so used to working in. And of course, StoryWeaver being a digital platform, and parents can access, educators can access. We did have a starting point advantage. And we were very agile in our response to create certain things that we felt our partners needed. So one of the things was audio video resources. We realized that a lot of our partners were saying that, can we just send YouTube links? Can we just send read along links so the children can continue engaging with storytelling and listening to stories? So we increased our audio video resources on the platform to about 400 books and had about 5.5 million views in the last 10 to 12 months. We launched a whole new website called Learn at Home, that actually curated all the content from StoryWeaver grade wise. Because again, teachers were saying that we don't have time to curate. Can you just quickly give us for grade one this theme? What is it that we can share with our parents? And that's what led to the launch of Learn at Home. And we have had about 50,000 educators use it in the last 7 to 8 months. We're doing an amazing program with UNICEF in Maharashtra, where every Saturday, it's called Goshti Cha Shanivar. And we have a reading program, grade 1 to grade 8. The reading program is a structured reading program, one story a week with activities to be done after reading the story. And this is available in many Indian languages. We are doing this in Maharashtra in Marathi, English, Hindi, and Urdu, where every Saturday on a WhatsApp group, the stories are sent via WhatsApp. The teachers then send it to the parents, the ones that are not digitally enabled. We've actually had such warm stories coming in from the ground, where teachers are actually going in the community and reading out stories as well. So this has been one of our great success stories around the reading program that has been launched across several languages as part of our COVID response. And we also have a very innovative program called the Missed Call Do Kahani Suno. So even if you don't have a smartphone, but if you had a regular non-smartphone, you could still give a missed call to a number, and the IVR system will call you back and play a story in a language of your choice. So this was also launched as a COVID response. And I think in about 2 months, we had about 200,000 children access stories via this program. That's all that I have for today. Love to hear your after at the end of the
Thank you, Purvi. Just one of the questions one of the audience was asking is, you know, from where this concept of starting StoryWeaver, and what is the journey behind it? If you can just share it to the audience, it would be nice. Maybe a minute of your time.
Yeah, thanks. It's a very relevant question. I'm sorry I did speed through my presentation, but like I said that we are a mission-centric organization. Pratham Books, our mission is to see a book in every child's hand, but we are also a very small organization. So we realized very early on that if we wanted to achieve the scale that we wanted to, it may not happen book by book, language by language. We'll really have to think out of the box. We'll have to think about how do we create communities, how do we leverage content, how do we leverage technology. So there used to be these corridor conversations that, oh, we'll have one website where we will put up, all our images. So these all used to be corridor conversations, and of course we ended up open licensing some of our books, which got translated at some point in many languages, and that really started giving us the idea that maybe there is an innovation idea here where we can create this global collaborative movement where if we put out our assets, our copyrighted assets under an open domain on an open platform, and if we thought of platform design as a way for people to come in and collaborate, we actually will be able to solve this problem of how to get a book in every child's hand in the mother tongue, because we certainly didn't have the capacity to translate in 280 languages of the world. So it was something that had been brewing in the organization for, I would say, over a decade, but finally got launched 5 years back.
One more question which we got is, I think we are all in the generations of the new era, and you are also in that youth span, like many of us. What's the message which you would like to share for the audience and the young youth who are getting prepared for the generation coming up with us?
I think Anand, they're much smarter than us. They are way smarter than us, at least what I see of this generation. They are far more aware of social issues. They are far more committed. They're able to draw the boundaries between work, home, and balance. And we've seen a lot of youngsters come in. I mean, we do this one day, one story. A program every year on 8th September on International Literacy Day, and thousands of volunteers, including a lot of young champions, come in and read stories in their local communities. So it's very heartening, and I would say that this is the time for social change. So there are so many great organizations, and many times you don't even need to go out of your house. You can do a lot of good just sitting in your house. So yeah.
Thank you, Purvi. Thank you for your wonderful session. I can only wish to see, how together we can join hands.
Of how you began, very truly inspirational. And we really look forward to working with you closely on various things. So thank you very much again for your time. With that, we would like to go to the next segment of where we have Seema from WNS Cares. Seema Sikri is a Deputy Manager, CSR, WNS Cares Foundation. Seema, I'm hailing from Vizag, about 18 years of experience in customer and workforce and value enhancement. She is in the WNS Cares Foundation. Seema is a location lead for the South India location, Sri Lanka and Poland. She has been intricately involved in the reading program and mobile library program, e-mentoring program, Step Up India program, and handles the WNS Cares website. We had a wonderful meeting so far in the past, in the recent past as well. So we are really looking forward to hearing more from you, Seema. So over to you, and please take it from here. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you. So good evening, everyone. Purvi, thanks a ton. We've been using your StoryWeaver stories in our mobile libraries. You gave a lovely insight about the StoryWeaver. That was really great. Okay, so quickly, let me go ahead and thank Annapoorna team and Anand sir for giving me this opportunity to go ahead and talk about WNS Cares Foundation and our programs that we had. So Sai sir has already given my introduction. So let me tell you that how I was a part of this wonderful journey first. I always had a passion for social service, and WNS gave me an opportunity as a WCF SPOC first, where I worked with different schools and children in Vizag only. While I was serving the children, we had different programs that we had. Apart from that, once I realized that, okay, this is how, the journey has to be. And what I wanted was giving back to the society. Now I'm a part of the core WNS Cares Foundation team, and if this way I'm fulfilling my dream through WCF. So let me quickly give you a small brief about our WNS Cares Foundation, which is WCF. WCF is the CSR arm of WNS Global Services. WCF programs impact lives of more than 106,000 lesser privileged children annually from 272 schools in 12 countries, and we've been making a difference since 2011. Now, evolution and impact are the two constant characteristics of WCF programs. From digital learning initiatives to mobile libraries, from science labs with advanced equipments to a websites that hosts stories and videos in multiple languages, from e-mentoring program to open a world of possibilities for children, to cybersecurity awareness initiative to help navigate the internet safely. Now, here I am to talk about the CyberSmart portal that we had just launched. But before that, let me give you small pointers about what CyberSmart portal, why, and how it has originated. Now, all you are aware that cyber attacks are common among the fastest growing crimes, and they continue to increase with the new normal. And this has increased to 121% since the new normal. Now that you all know that every child has an access to internet and social media now, so what happens here is that, let me give you a small example and a small story here. So a child, while was navigating through the one of the games, while the child was going through and playing these games, what happened here was the child got a small pop-up, and the pop-up said that you need to go ahead and install a new game, you have a gift. So the child quickly clicked on the link, and it asked for some bank details of the parents. And now you all are aware that children are they book through Swiggy and Amazon, so they have access to parents debit card and credit card details. So this child also had access to the details, and quickly went ahead and put the details of the parent, gave the OTP, and everything was done. Okay. And what happened was, immediately 5 lakh rupees was transferred from the parents account to some unknown user. So that was cyber crime. That was cyber attack that happened on the child. So all of a sudden the parents realized, because the parents were in the US, they realized that, okay, this also could happen. Now, keeping this in mind, our chief mentor, that is Shamini Murgesh, she had this actually thought came in her mind, and she said, okay, let us go ahead and do something for this, and then let's create an awareness among children because they are most vulnerable. So then, in collaboration with NASCOM, Responsible Netism, and Cybercrime, WNS Cares Foundation created this Cyber Smart portal. Now, the Cyber Smart portal, the objective is to keep children safe on the internet digital platform. This was launched on the 22nd of June, the first chapter in 2020. And now we are going to look in Maharashtra first, and then in Goa, and then in AP. The latest chapter was in MP on 15th of September. Now, this portal is a free online gamified learning platform. The portal offers age-appropriate learning journeys that are based on curriculum-based and challenges that children commonly encounter in cyberspace. The platform offers a host of features that makes learning immersive and engaging for children. The portal currently is in English and in 9 other Indian languages, so it's easy to navigate. Children find it very easy to navigate because it's in 9 regional languages apart from English. It also enables parents and teachers to impact cybersecurity education using a unique online-offline methodology. So now, apart from this, let me take you to the portal. Let me share my screen with you. Allow me to just share my screen with you. Yeah, so this is how the portal looks like. If you see the portal right now, this is how the portal looks like. So if you see the portal, you have 4 different quadrants. You have a student quadrant, you have a teacher quadrant, you have a volunteer quadrant, and a parent quadrant. Now, when the child goes ahead, the student, if I'm clicking on the student quadrant, the child, as I mentioned earlier, will have options, 9 options apart from English language. So English, let me choose English. I just take you through a small demonstration of one video and just the journey. So I put my name as a child. Okay, so I just put my name as a child. I put my class cluster. So now the child has to write the entire name, how the child has a full name, because you get a certification towards the end. The class cluster, we have 3 different clusters in this. Any child between 2 and 4 will click the 2 and 4 cluster. The child between 5 and 7 will click the 5 and 7 cluster. The child between 8 and 10 will click the 8 and 10 cluster. So I'm just clicking the 5 and 7 cluster. Since I'm from Andhra Pradesh, I'll be clicking on Andhra Pradesh and clicking on next. Once I click on next, I can see a small welcome arrow journey that is showing me. Once I click on that, this is the entire journey that will go through. So we have different quadrants of this. The first one is going to be like sharing personal information. Second one is stranger contact. Third one is sharing pictures and videos. Fourth one is cyberbullying. And the fifth one is cyber grooming. As I mentioned earlier, we have different for different age groups. So the learning is going to be different for different journeys as well. Now, once I click on next, there's a video that will be played. Let me quickly take you through this.
Welcome to my world. Thank you for being my guest for the next few minutes. My name is Tiger. I go to Magic Dust Public School. I stay in Wizard Street. My birthday is on the 31st of July. Oops, I shared a lot of personal information with you. And I don't even know you. You are just a stranger whom I met online. I shouldn't share my personal information with you, and nor should you with strangers. We may meet these strangers online while playing games or through social media, or they may even send us emails. Do you know there is a minimum sign-up age for opening email and social media accounts, as it is not safe to join them at a young age? Before we move ahead, let me ask you a few questions.
So as you all are aware, every section has videos, and the videos are less than say 22 seconds to maximum is 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So we have about 5 videos in the entire journey. So once the video is played, they will be asking a question. Is it not all right to share your personal information with people you chat online? If I click on true, it takes me to the next questioner. Which of the following is not considered as personal information? None of the above. The child can also click on, even if the child clicks on the wrong option, I show in the next one. So now no harm can be caused if you share your date of birth with people online. Oh, I've still clicked the right one though. There is no minimum age to sign up for social media. Again, the right one. It's okay to share the names of your school while chatting online. Yeah, so I clicked the wrong option. Even if the child clicks the wrong option, no problem. The child can click the right option, read the question again, and go through the next journey. So I'm just taking you to the first journey. So I'm not taking you to the entire portal because the journey is pretty long. It will take about 10 minutes. So this way, the next journey starts. Once we complete the entire journey, we watch 5 videos and answer 25 questions. The child answers 25 questions. The child, you can see a gift box here. Once the child finishes the journey, he or she will be getting a small badge and a certificate. Once the certificate pops up, the child can have the certificate for himself. And the second quadrant is the teacher quadrant. This is also similar to the to this student quadrant. Here the teacher also can go through the entire portal. The teacher can go ahead and download the videos, because in rural areas, children will not have access to internet. So the teacher can download the questions, the videos, everything, and keep it on their tablets or their telephones, or even in their mobiles and in their laptops, and show it to the children and ask them question and make them aware of the cybercrime right now. So we also have the third section, which is the volunteer section. Here, this volunteer section is for, for anybody outside, either a parent or a teacher or a child. Apart from them, anybody can go ahead and volunteer. They can go ahead and train children, make them aware of the portal. The fourth section is the parent section. Now, as I mentioned that, parents must be worried that what exactly the child is going through, what video the child is seeing. So when you click on the parent section, here, when you click on the parent section, the best part about this is that the parent can see all the videos which are there in all the 3 clusters. Though they select just one, they can see all the videos. So this is how there'll be a small, this one, and they can see all the videos. They can go through the videos and they can see all the videos here. So this is about all the 4 quadrants. Apart from this, we have a helpline number, which is there right here, which says help. That is calling for help. This is the national cybercrime number and the responsible netizen number. Any child which is in distress can call up this number within, keeping a teacher or a parent The child shouldn't call up all by himself or herself. They should have a guide. There should be the guidance of a child, teacher or a parent can call up this number and report any crime that has happened on, to them. Apart from that, report an issue. Now, this is for the website itself, wherein in case you have any technical glitch, you can either call up the number or you can write to, you can write to the number here as well, and then make necessary arrangements for the same so that they can, clear your technical glitch as well. So this is about our CyberSmart portal. So I'll put the link on our chat box just for your reference. And let me also give you a small insight that right now we already have 1,45,000 users on our portal. And I would actually want to thank Annapoorna Trust to extend its collaboration with us to spread the awareness to their branches across Pan India. So that's it from my end. Anything that you want me to answer, open to it.
Yeah, thank you, Seema, for running us through this presentation. There's a slight technical glitch from my end. My apologies for that. Seema, there's one question which has come. Seema, from the cyberbullying, which we generally go through, from that standpoint, we have these best practices in place. Have you seen any case studies where it has impacted? Do you think some of the students have reached out to you and they did thank you for such wonderful programs? Is there anything where you would like to share
Yes,
with
sir.
our audience?
Yes, sure, sure. I would actually want to talk about it. We just had one instance which happened about 2 weeks back. So while we were training these students, through our one of our teachers, so there was a child who came up and said that, "Ma'am, I'm getting a call from a number, and that gentleman asked me to go ahead and put this app on the mobile." But unfortunately, that child was not trained that time for CyberSmart. There was another child which was trained for CyberSmart that time. So whatever, this child went ahead and told that, like this, I got a call. So the child got in touch with us. We already have gone ahead and cleared this. It was somebody who was actually using a fake ID of a teacher, of one of the teacher, and trying to take personal information from the child. So the CyberSmart people are working on that as well. So that way, see, children are very vulnerable. They don't know what's happening. Luckily, his the child's friend was aware of this, and he immediately told, "Please call up, ma'am. They will help you out on this." And everything was stopped. The bank account was, no funds were taken out at that point of time. So they were very keen. And that gentleman who called and told to install the app, he told that we are going to call two more friends of yours. So this child, very proactive of the child. The child called up these two friends also and said that, "Okay, you're going to get a call from here. Please don't install any app." So this is recently. This happened just a week back.
Considering Annapurna, which is more in the hinterlands, particularly in village communities, something like an online session this is also very challenging because they may not be able to understand because they need face-to-face, collaboration, etc. Are you planning? Because I'm sure you would have also gone through such situations because it's just not for the urban or the semi-urban communities. Now, even the village communities are mostly on mobile. What's your plan for that? How do you want
Yes,
to address
so
them?
so let me give you that also, because not everybody has mobile phones and have access to Zoom and all that. So what our teachers do generally is that they have downloaded the videos on their mobile phones. So while they are on a call, actually they play that video and the other child listens to what's happening, and that the teacher will ask questions. So should you do this? Should you? It's just awareness, sir. So we want to make the child aware. However, you want to go ahead and do it. Now that it is pandemic situation, we are not able to reach out to the rural communities, and I'm sure that maybe once the entire Corona is settled down and we are able to go to the rural places, we'll be able to send our teachers there. Show them the videos, take mini sessions and answer. But right now we are doing this, sir. We've got those videos, so we make them hear and then we ask them questions. In fact, that's more engaging. It's a two-way communication with the child, so they understand and they say, "Oh, really, this happens, sir, so this is how it is." And since it's a comical representation, because it's in a comical voice, the child gets very excited to hear this as well.
Yeah. So one thing which we thought, because of our frequent calls with the team over here, we are having our volunteers meet happening every once in a month with various regions.
It would be an honor if you can just come up and also speak to all of us online, because if we get trained, if we know the knowledge of how to execute it, we ourselves become your expansion makers, and we can go and tell to the many other teachers. So we will do our best in that way. If that works out for WNS, definitely we will have these calls every once in a month and try to spread it to a larger audience.
Indeed, so we can surely do that. So that's how we do. In fact, we take through. Suppose I'm giving you an example. Suppose there is a school like a Vellamal school. We go ahead and train the all the coordinators and the teachers first, and then we create cyber corps. So these cyber corps in turn go ahead and train the students. So I think that will be a lovely collaboration with you, and we're looking forward for that, sir.
Thank you, Seema ji. One thing is very interesting, and I would like to tell to all our audiences, the energy which you carry every time are on this call. I know this is your fourth call with us. It so happens that it has to be delivered to a larger audience, and today we made this live so that it is available for everybody to access sometime later also. With this, we will go
Thank
to
you,
our
sir.
next speaker, and I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Charles. Charles, myself, many of our youngsters who are currently in various corporate organizations working, and some of them who have actually taken a decision to work for NGOs. Uh, I think we are all coming in the same generation, Charles. And
Absolutely.
we just wanted to tell a bit about Charles. Charles is the manager for CSR at WNS Global Services. As you can see, the latest award which they have got from Institute of Directors, it's a prestigious Golden Peacock Award for all the wonderful work which they have been doing for the communities. I would like to share a bit about Charles. He is a very dynamic, very professionally organized man who picks up from where the student communities need to gather strength when they need the career counseling. Till date, Annapurna has been focusing more on the age group of 6 years to 15 years. But we realized that many of the graduates who are kind of passing out also need some kind of counseling. And that's when we brought in WNS to see how they can partner with us. Over to you, Charles, with this small briefing. If you can take over and share your thoughts as to what you have to share for our audience over here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anand. So I'll tell you a brief about my journey as to how I began with these things. Post finishing my education, I moved out of my house and I told my mother I wanted to do something for the community. I wanted to do something for the poor at large. Uh, Adding to this factor, I think I also grew up in a poor family and I knew the importance of education. Now, moving out of my house, I started staying alone and I went on to the corners of Mumbai to check out as to how the poor live and how they survive. The one big factor that came to me was critical that you had children finishing their 10th standard, finishing their 12th standard, and finishing their graduations. And the entire bulk of these children were educated but did not have jobs. And that was a startling problem for me. And I was thinking, what is the exact issue? I mean, they're educated. Why aren't they able to get jobs? Then with further research and talking to them and understanding their issues, they used to constantly visit me for counseling purposes and all of those things. And I understood that the problem lies in the idea of not being industry ready. So these children who are out there studying and qualified, but they were not industry ready. And that is the reason at WNS, what we did is we identified certain programs that could get the child evolved further and make them industry ready. Yeah. uh, Primarily WNS is a customer service oriented organization, and we have a lot of departments that deal with a lot of customer service expertise across and different borders. Primarily, one of our functions is about accounting and finance, and I said, why not bring take the expertise of accounting and finance and bring it up. We have industry standards, awesome trainers. We have the entire pool ready. Our management was ready. We thought of this program very critically and deeply. I said, let's make this program completely free and let's take it out to the masses so that they get the right amount of education. And that is how we began with the idea of the MMC program. What is the MMC program? The MMC program means Make My Career. In this, it is pretty clear, simple, and easy. We speak to our NGO partners. Pratham is one of our NGO partners, and there are several other partners who deal with education for children. We successfully completed 3 batches with one of the NGOs from Southern India. This was for FNA. And these are children with limited capacity, people who have hearing impaired and may not be able to speak appropriately. So empowering them with the industry skills that would be required to take up a job was phenomenal for them. And we've received some lovely messages from these children stating that the kind of training that you deliver, the kind of material that you teach is so fantastic that it has helped us crack interviews. So now what I will do is I will give you a basic overview of the entire program and I will take it through. Give me a minute. Yeah. Uh, Great. So there, you should be able to see this. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Charles.
Perfect. So this is the WNS Cares Foundation, and this is how we went ahead. Our entire agenda was to go ahead and work with the idea. The mission statement was educate, empower, and enrich. And we found it very important that education was playing a key role. It was the cornerstone of lifting a child and taking it further for his career. But education alone was not important. We also thought that beyond education, we need to do something more. And how do we enrich the children? How do we empower them? And that's how the MMC program came into picture, where we empower the children and the youth to go ahead and acquire better jobs. Yeah, with the entire foundation coming into picture, we have organized leaders and senior leadership who take a part into this and give their time and their energy to make sure that the entire program goes successful. The accounting and finance program runs for almost 20 days, and the program is domain based with application based methods of the real time learning that comes into picture. You have industry standard trainers, corporate trainers, learning and development trainers, soft skill trainers, and other trainers coming in regularly to address the children. Every day, this training happens for 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours, Saturday, Sunday is an off. 2 hours the child learns. Then we empower them with details and materials that we can give them. Classes happen over Zoom calls. Post that, we also send them learning materials on WhatsApp. There is a regular test that happens every weekend. And beyond that, then the certification happens. Now, the basics of accounting has a lot in detail, and we charted out a clear-cut, crisp plan that could help the child to become an expert in accounting and finance. Like, for example, we had the customer master list creation, record of transactions, record and report overview. These are some topics which I would not be aware because I am from the arts domain. Banking reconciliations, cash management, and cash applications. These are some real-time things. For example, tax slabs and tax modules. These are some real-time things that children would be using in a domain where they are actually working on the accounting and finance domain. Yeah. Next to that, the other important thing that we came up was with a CIS domain. Now, CIS was customer interaction services. We also realized that there was a large bulk within the industry available who wanted to work for a job, who wanted to take up a job and work, but they were not job ready. Primarily, they had issues with their communication skills, interpersonal skills, email writing skills, corporate behavior, and all of these things. And keeping these things in mind, we came up with the customer interaction services, again, with industry standard trainers. And these trainers were specifically trained on VUCA techniques. VUCA technique is about change management. Type of the domain that we chose was about travel and utilities, then being a professional person at work, introduction to customer service, introduction to the power binary, basics of communication. These things were employed. And I am very happy to say that we have children giving us testimony that, sir, we did not find confidence earlier, but post coming into this program, going to this program, now I feel I am much more confident to go ahead and crack an interview. So this is what we have been doing in detail. Sorry, just give me a minute. Yeah, so this is what we have been doing for a long time and empowering our children. Now, are you all able to see my screen? Yeah, so that's where it is. So what we also do now is we are talking to a lot of NGOs. We speak to them that this program is completely free and there is no money involved at all. So the NGOs can arrange their students who are into education sector. They can speak to us. We can directly plan for their batches. We are also now organizing another batch, which is going to be a mixed batch for a cultural exchange between India and South Africa. That is the next big step that we're taking in the MMC program, which is going to be launched on the 9th of November. Yeah. So it will be a mix of South Africa and the Indian students. So this is how we are going ahead. Yeah. Anything, Anand, you want to ask?
Yeah, thanks, Charles, for giving an update. Charles, there are three questions for you,
Please.
and just wanted to probably tell you that the first question for you is, I mean, it's a story which I also experienced, and everybody else has also experienced that during our times, there
Uh-huh.
was nobody who guided us. You know, we were not
Correct.
too sure after, even after 10th grade, what we are supposed to do, we were not too sure.
Absolutely.
And it was always left to the elite people to know that they need to do engineering or medicine or whatever, right? God's grace, we got to know, you know, after finishing up our engineering, that this is a scope for many of the other verticals which are there.
Correct.
So, for the general youth, you know, for conveying this message, which is right now through various channels we are doing, where do you see that this problem which was there earlier, has it been addressed, or is it still getting addressed to the larger communities?
Your question is very strong and valid. And with my experiences that I've been traveling across India, I had the teachers training program also. And because I've traveled across India, I see a need of improving the entire idea of education for teachers as well as students. Now, as you said, at least for example, in Mumbai, I would say a child who gets out of their 10th standard, there are three main faculties: science, commerce, and arts. And this is what they know about. This is like the blanket statement they know about. Uh, we really need to work forward with the idea of having proper education counseling departments available where the child can reach out and he can talk about his hobbies, his goals, his identity, what he wants to do, where he wants to be. And basis that idea, the counselor should be able to chart out a plan where the child should be able to understand, okay, this is how I want to go about with my career. So that is something which is very important. And children who pass out 10th standard, I generally tell them to go ahead and Google it out on the internet. There are ample of education institutes available who do free counseling also. Yeah. So for 10th and 12th standard, they can get onto that free counseling and see what they are better at. There are beautiful cognitive tests which are available, which will identify if the child needs to go in commerce, science, or arts, and they can do that.
Yeah, I think even the national education policy, which is just about to get rolled out, also works in the same in lines. That's what I've heard. It's good for India as such. The generations are changing, and we are also changing. And whatever you and I missed out in those days, definitely, I'm sure the current generation is definitely guided. So this is the one thing which I am happy, and also the trust members are also happy. Everybody who's listening also, for sure, they're also happy that there's guidance given to a lot of students who are about to get into the corporate world. So the next
Absolutely.
question, Charles, is one interesting question for you. This is from one of the Annapurna volunteer.
Mhm.
He asks that I am actually an Annapurna volunteer, and kind of with the support which I got from Annapurna team, I was able to get into kind of the larger network of professionals who are there in this group. So he's asking, can he join this online sessions, because he just finished off
Absolutely.
his graduation, but still he wants to learn.
Absolutely. When I spoke about accounting and finance, let me tell you, accounting and finance is a domain, and CIS is a domain that we all can use in our daily life. I mean, Anand can say this, Seema can say this, and I can say this because we've been working professionals from quite a long time. Every year, once in a year, we have to do a tax planning.
Correct.
Yeah, we have to do a tax planning, and there are so many details in the taxes and systems that I would not understand because that is not my department, not my expertise. But if a training like this can be given where I can understand as to how the money rolls around and how it works, why not join it? The CIS thing does the same thing for you. You learn about communication skills, you better yourself, you will be able to present yourself better anywhere else, wherever you go. You will be able to crack an interview for that matter at the most
Correct.
basic step available. And for children, as they would want to be a part of it, we are completely open and available. You can please take my number, you can take my email address from Anand, and he will go ahead and get us connected, and I will be more than happy to roll out batches. I am trainer ready. I have a huge pool of trainers for CIS, banking and for finance and accounting. I'm also coming up with banking and accounting, banking and insurance, and I'm also coming up with IT operations. So these are things that are going to come up very soon in the pipeline. My trainer pool is ready. You let me know if you're available. I will create batches and we can all get trained together.
Thank you. Thank you for offering all these services. And just to remember and to remind everybody, all this is provided completely free. These things are generally charged outside, but things are changing and people are understanding. And WNS is definitely doing the right thing for larger communities. One more question for you, Charles. This is
Yes.
more to do with naturally, which is expected. So I'm sure you have the answer for this. Many of them are thinking that after going through this training, they'll get into some job opportunity with WNS. So could you like to just share what are your thoughts on that? How do you want to take up this kind of questions?
Sure, sure. It's a very good question and a very valid question. Even if I was a child and I have to go through a training, then the most important factor is my end goal. What is my end goal? My end goal is to secure a job and get the money rolling. But within CSR policies, ideally, we are not supposed to go ahead and enroll people in the organization who've been through our training programs. However, to crack this situation, we have come up with another plan. What we do is, once you've finished with your training and your certification with us, we get our tag team involved. Our tag team involved is the hiring team. Now, the hiring team has superb connections across India, and they will talk to all the other departments across India who are into hiring with their partners, with their vendors, and that can go on significantly. So what we do is we collect their resumes and we give it to a hiring partner. Our hiring partner sends those resumes across to all the other multinational and other organizations which require these kind of students. And when you actually come up with a certification from WNS stating that you've been through a specific training, then your chances of getting hired is much more higher because you already know something about the product or you already know something about the domain.
Correct.
That's how it goes.
Very nice, Charles. So
Thank you.
just to tell to the audience that see, while Annapurna Trust is there to help the children who are definitely needing that nutrition, healthcare, education, sanitation, our own Annapurna volunteers, everybody also needs to kind of groom their skill sets. They should also groom their skill sets to get ready for the larger world which is there outside, be it on IT, be it on finance, be it on accounting, etc. So there is a question which has been raised to me. It's not to you, Charles. That what's the whole goal of trying to collaborate with WNS? So I'll have to tell this in 2 minutes time so that we are also on time with our schedule. It's a personal experience for me that I always remember my first guide when I finished off my engineering, and then when I was getting into a job. My first guide was one of my teacher who actually guided me to look into a job, and you can join HCL Infosystems, and she guided me. And after she guided me, I joined this company, and I understood a lot about various things in IT. And even today, I remember her for whatever reasons, whatever salary we pick up, whatever we are doing, we still remember that first person who has guided us. So now there are lots of students over here who want to join various careers and corporate jobs, but there is no direction. However, they would have come across Annapoorna Trust. Annapoorna Trust is also doing a integrated rural development program, which is a program to do with how they can help the rural communities as a part of their project. Now, we don't want to confine telling that we are only a project rolled division. We will only work on your project and we sign off, and then we tell to your university and you get your credit scores. We want to be that change maker for you. So for all that we are doing, if somebody says, okay, what is that I get out from this IRDP course, I would say career counseling, soft skills training, public speaking, content writing, or even motivational speakers, or giving the right direction. So not that we have that expertise. So naturally, we need to talk to large organizations who have been into this kind of work. And that's how we have WNS who is joining hands with us So in the as a part of our IRDP course, WNS also comes as a work structure, and it will also help you. And as what Charles told you right now, it's just that, you have to put your effort, and we never know, maybe after 6 months, you definitely will be the first person to be hired. But the most important point for us is not about your hiring and you joining an organization. What is going in your subconscious memory is that first person who guided you. And WNS and then Pratham Foundation, Annapoorna Trust should come into your mind when you think who is that first person who guided you. Charles should come into your mind because Charles is driving the passion for doing such kind of trainings. Seema should come into your mind because she is also doing something for cybersecurity. So that's the answer for the question which one of the volunteers shared. But again, I know we have much more to do, much more conversations can happen to make it more interesting, but to keep it more to the time, we have to close the session here. And we once again thank the wonderful speakers, Purvi, Seema, and Charles. Thank you very much. And definitely it's an honor to speak to all of you over here. One last slide about the next generation. It's definitely in our hands to build the next generation. So all our team over here, together we need to work to ensure the next generation is well placed for the upcoming challenges everybody goes through. With this, we come to the end of this session, and we wish all of you a happy Diwali. And these are the details of Annapurna. You can reach out to us anytime through these links. And this current YouTube session is also live. Recorded version can be seen sometime later. We also want to congratulate the entire technical team which was behind it to ensure the program happens seamlessly. I once again thank the speakers from the bottom of our hearts, and we look forward for stronger collaboration. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diwali.
Thank
Happy
you.
Diwali, everyone.
Happy Diwali.